All right, everybody, welcome to what will be the first of hopefully many interviews in a series of characters, actually, who inspired those characters in the Cataclysm series. And today we have one of my oldest friends in the world, Andrew Bouie. He's the real-life person behind the character Boo Andrews. We're going to talk a little bit about the differences between the real Andrew, the real Boo, and the fiction Boo. So first, I'd like to welcome Andrew. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you. I've known John since we were 18-year-old freshmen, which is a long time ago.
Don't say how long. Don't say it.
I'm not going to say how long. It's a long time ago.
39 years. Sorry, don't say it.
Let's see. He let me know about these books some years ago, and I had the pleasure to read the first one, give him my comments and edits, and have been reading all of them ever since.
Tell me about yourself.
I was born and raised in Duluth, Minnesota. Lived there most of my life. Had a stint in Chicago, so I'm a Bear fan and a Chicago Bull fan, and a Cubs fan. Moved out to the East Coast in the early 80s to go to college, and I've remained out here living in Maryland with my wife and 4 kids for the last 30 years.
It's really old.
Yeah.
So Andrew and I met in college. We went to Washington University in Lexington, Virginia. Little shout out, whoop whoop to the Generals. And again, been buddies ever since. So one of the questions that I ask all of my people in these interviews, and you're the first, if you could be a fictional character, like if you could be somebody that already existed, either in books, literature, movies, TV, who's somebody you like to be?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'd probably tilt towards superheroes, right? So I think of myself as a scientist anyway, so I'd probably choose Iron Man.
So Andrew's character, and I gave him the nickname Boo because of course his last name's Bowie 1,000 years ago. I'm sure I'm not the only person that did that.
Would you like to sign off, Boo?
But Boo Andrews in the book is a little different. He is Jake Fisher's best friend. They do go all the way back to college, and they both serve in the Marine Corps. Neither Andrew nor I are Marine Corps veterans, but my dad was, so we get a little bit of culture from that. Andrew Bouie, this fella, was never a Marine. He was never a wrestler, but he was around me for all of my college wrestling. The take on us, the fictional character, is that you pretty much stood up to my girlfriend right at the national tournament. As the story goes, we were both wrestling in the U.S. Open Nationals for Greco-Roman, which is an upper body style of wrestling. And Jake is struggling through, and he finally looks like he's going to finally break through into that top elite group. He's got to win one more match, and he comes back home to find his supposedly injured best friend in bed with his girl, and it crushes him. But what crushes him even more is that he is not the only one that's been there to visit. She's pretty much been around town. That never happened between us either. Did we ever share a girlfriend?
Once.
Did we?
Yeah.
Who did we date the same girl? I don't remember.
That's terrible. I was trying to think of it on the coming back.
So apparently we did actually date at least one girl the same, and that was bound to happen in an area that had all male schools and very few all females coming around on the weekends. But you and I have actually had a few adventures together. We've been around each other for some of our more important times.
Right, and now you want to choose this to talk about?
Gentlemen, this is Andrew, the lazy man Bouie. This is the man that my mother believes needs to lose no less than 50 pounds. What's index?
Good gosh, before marriage, there are a number, and a lot of those probably, I won't tell the whole story. But we spent a lot of late nights, like early in college. Lloyd's of London.
Lexington.
Lloyd's of Lexington. This is where you went after fraternity parties. It was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. This place had the best food on the planet from 1:30 a.m. to about 5 o'clock in the morning.
And there's reason for that. And it has
Right.
nothing to do with the food quality.
No. And it was an arcade, right? So
That's right, the back there was an
you
arcade.
could play all kinds of games and hang out and eat cheeseburgers and fries, and you could pay with a check,
Yeah,
right?
which is not...
Which was great
never
because
saw
you
that
didn't really have
McDonald's.
to carry any cash around anywhere. But we spent untold
Thousands.
numbers of hours.
They had a decent milkshake and a fair chicken sandwich, as I recall.
True. One time we were talking about the women we were going to marry. Remember that? I had met Angela over that summer, go back to school, and for whatever reason, John wanted to come back up toward home. And I said, oh, Angela, the girl I'm seeing, she goes to Maryland. And I talked to her, and they were going through Rush, visiting different
Yeah, they were like
soror-
hopping around just to see, get a feel of the sororities.
So we drive up there, hang out till after Rush is over. We are shell-shocked.
Yeah. Do you remember your quote? We went to an all-male school that became co-ed. As he said, there were only a few girls there. And it was a relatively small school. You know, we're talking about just under 2,000. And we're standing in the streets of College Park during Rush. And literally, it's like you're standing in a river that's suddenly filled with like a school of herring that just flies by. They're everywhere. There's just hundreds and hundreds of girls.
It was overwhelming for us. And what I said to my then girlfriend, after we all got back together, I said, well, you know, there's a big difference. We go to school. You guys go to college.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you even including me in the book, in the idea, the thoughts. I've read some of it to Angela out loud because I think that there are things about the relationship we have that are really just true in the writing. A lot of the banter, I think people probably think, like you said, they probably thought it took you a long time to come up with. No, those were conversations or things that we argued about.
Yes.
For forever. And I think also just even the competitive nature while I wasn't a wrestler. Anytime we had anything to do, basketball court, swimming pool, it was always a competition.
Yeah, I still have VHS video of us playing on a 8-foot basketball court, and the fouls were legit fouls.
I was supposed to hurt you a whole lot more than it did me.
But yeah, in the book, Jake and Boo do this banter, and you can tell it's even competitive there. They're like trying to one-up each other, and trying to sound smarter than the other guy.
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting back and watching this like, you guys just shut up. We got stuff to do.
Right.
We got to take care of this first. Sorry. And I want to thank Andrew Bouie for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And stay tuned. There's more to come.
Gentlemen, this is Andrew, the lazy man Bouie. This is the man that my mother believes needs to lose no less than 50 pounds. What's index mean, Gary?
I have no idea.
We'll know soon. This is Gary Don, technical advisor to Jay Vielle GD Films. That's his big hand.